Hey guys, it's me, Maxi here, from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Mega Drive / Sega Genesis. So, remember how the forums of on Wednesday about the fact that we did manage to tackle through Hilltop Zone, Mystic Cave Zone, and the iPhone exclusive level, which appears to be, of course, Hidden Palace Zone. And also we did tackle through Oil Ocean Zone, in addition to that atrocious, Metropolis Zone, because I still can't stress enough about how much I'm not a big fan of that particular zone in my eyes. But either way though, that's the end of story basically. So, yeah, today, for this particular episode, is the fact that we're about to conclude the entirety of Knuckles in Sonic 2 by going through Sky Chase Zone, in addition to Wing Fortress Zone, and of course the Death Egg Zone at the end. So, not much else to talk about, I'm afraid, guys, apart from the fact that recently today's day is, of course, the 18th of December today, in this case in 2020. Not much else is going on at this moment in time, apart from the fact that, well, usually, relatively speaking, as far as what Piglet has not even mentioned about this during this Let's Play of Sonic Advance 2, which he somehow managed to conclude that Let's Play recently, just yesterday. And recently, about the fact that recently is that, you know, one of these episodes in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Swarm of the Century, that usually has like Parasprites on that episode, when Fluttershy managed to discover those at first, but then they just managed to able to actually make the Parasprites still manage to spread, and as a result, that particular episode has now been, well, a decade old for that particular episode since yesterday. I'm guessing the only thing it needs left now is, of course, Winter Wrap-Up, and, well, am I able to actually watch that episode and during at some point during Christmas, kind of stuff. In fact, relatively speaking, is the fact that we actually are next week right now, until specifically Christmas Day, so we're really looking forward to see how things gonna turn out for the likes of the forms of this year's Christmas, but, again, we're not gonna mention more about it though, just because, you know, we've naturally just only got about a week left, so I digress. So as far as you know, is the fact that during the course of the Sky Chase level that we saw Tails in that particular tornado, even though that he doesn't join along with you during the rest of the adventure for the likes of Wing Fortress Zone, as you can see, as well as you know, the final zone, and even the majority of the zones as well, which it seems pretty obvious for that point. So, oh no! I did not meant to do that. Whoops. Oh well, we'll try that again. We're not that far from here though, so at least we got that at least. So, anyway though, and I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this too is the fact that I'm also able to actually just to start doing the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic episodes based off from the Christmas episodes marathon. Starting with, of course, the Winter Wrap-Up, and then all the way up to I can't remember what the last episode that is, although, fundamentally speaking, that's usually the best gift ever was always been the holiday special, as far as you bronies might able to already know about this already. So, at least I'm doing a Christmas marathon for the sake of the actual my favorite show of all time, but hey, at least that's something, I suppose. But anyway though, so here we go on to Wing Fortress Zone in Knuckles' playthrough, and well, as far as you might well know, is that the game will get a little bit harder if you manage to play as Knuckles, because obviously with, you know, he doesn't have that much jump height, and also, to top it off, is the fact that, well, he might as well have himself an easier time with this particular level with Knuckles, because obviously he can able to glide, and also, because of that, though, you can able to actually skip some tons of portions. Specifically, let's just say, for example, if we come towards those, you know, these pop-up turret platforms, normally you can able to actually ignore this part, but I'm just gonna play it safe by doing this normally, because I really refuse to able to fall off, and then as a result, I'm also able to accidentally just manage to able to lose a life if I wasn't paying attention. So, but regardless, we did manage to make it. So either way though, we'll just continue things on here. And as far as you guys should probably already know is the fact that this particular part doesn't take that much longer to able to actually just to finish up the entirety of, you know, Knuckles in Sonic 2 playthrough. Even though originally that it was going to be the forms of two-parter, but we're just gonna go for the 3 usual parts, just like how we did, you know, the normal Sonic 2 playthrough back in, well, let's just say in 2017. So even then though, let's go ahead and take down this particular little beam machine kind of thing itself from, you know, as Super Knuckles, which makes things a little bit easier. But without any Chaos Emeralds to your disposal, and if you don't transform into Super Knuckles, this just makes things a bit harder. So, and yes, if you're probably wondering, yes, there isn't any laser active on here, although now it's clearly shown here. But then again though, this is probably due to the emulation. So, but either way though, although usually I'm still playing this on the Switch, so but either way though, I could at least expect that. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and leave this level. Although before we leave, there's an extra life over there. And there we go, that pretty much wraps it up for, well, Wing Fortress Zone. And as you can see, Dr. Robotnik has got away, and luckily we can able to hop onto the actual tornado, and we can able to catch up to Dr. Robotnik for, you know, the final zone, for the Death Egg Zone. So, and I'm pretty sure the Death Egg Zone is pretty much exactly like how it did in the forms of the original Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was, except the fact that we're going to be playing as Knuckles the Echidna. Although, fundamentally speaking, you're still able to actually have 0 rings to your disposal before you're able to start battle against with, not 1, but 2 boss fights all in one particular zone, which, it's pretty obvious what the first boss fight is coming up, which is pretty much guaranteed to be Silver Sonic, because normally that's how you're able to actually face off against with him at first. And he still normally has himself likely 8 hits to his disposal, but it wasn't until whenever we get onto the final boss of the game, which is the Death Egg Robot, that he still managed to obtain himself like 12 hits. So, and unfortunately I've got my another life wasted, probably it's because I accidentally touched towards him, so. But luckily this doesn't take me that much more serious than ever, but at least I've already kicked this guy, or kicked the actual Silver Sonic's but then, you know, you probably get the idea. I apologize if my commentary gets a bit hiccupy and such, but either way though, because I already explained loads of stuff thanks to the forms of the Game Awards 2020, which you guys should probably already know by that point. So, anyways, here we go, face off against with the Death Egg Robot, as you can see right there. Now, playing as Knuckles in this boss fight, if you're trying to do this quicker, is actually a lot harder compared to the forms of how it does it on Sonic's playthrough, or even Tails' playthrough if you want able to include that. Because obviously, what makes this boss fight a lot more challenging and difficult than in forms of how it does on the other 2 playthroughs. Well, to be more specifically, we done this Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Let's Play before, back in 2017, as I said this before. This is pretty obvious because obviously Knuckles can't jump nearly as high as Sonic, and also because of how the fact that, well, obviously you still need to rely on 0 rings into your disposal for this battle. And finally, perhaps even most annoyingly of them all though, as I think that, I believe Duffy has mentioned about this before. I'm not exactly sure because it has been a while since I actually researched upon certain things, as far as you guys should know. But, basically, the Death Egg Robot does have 12 hits in order to able to actually finish him off. And whenever I remember, whenever I managed to fight against this guy, or specifically the Death Egg Robot, since back in 2011, when I managed to play Knuckles in Sonic 2 on the go on my Nintendo DS version on Sonic Classic Collection, I just seriously got butt kicked by this guy, especially because, again, Knuckles' jump height wasn't nearly as high as Sonic's was, but even then though, you must be able to actually just do like some sort of like a waiting fest. Especially noticeable, you always have to wait until when the Death Egg Robot decides to dip down and what have you, or rare occasions that you can able to actually lift up and stuff like that. So, But regardless of anything else though, it's all about the waiting game kind of syndrome, because otherwise, if you're not paying attention to that whatsoever, then you're gonna have to restart the entire zone all over again, completely filled to the brim with like, you know, trying to still face off against with Silver Sonic and all that stuff though, again, if you screw this up. But as long as you would be able to be super careful with the forms of Knuckles' jump height and all that stuff though, because again, if you somehow ram into him, then, you know, you obviously die. So even then, yeah, just keep that in mind. I think he was onto his last hit at this point. Oh, not quite. Hopefully he should be down by then, but thankfully though, this boss fight to me though doesn't go nearly as dragged on as the Death Egg robot fight from the likes of Sonic 4 Episode 1. And despite that, however, though, I absolutely hated that music on Sonic 4 Episode 1 because it just goes way too short, and because of that, it just loops about 5 times per minute. And as a result, if you looked up on the forms of Some Call Me Johnny's review of Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1, you know what I'm talking about right there, because that final boss theme sucks in Sonic 4 Episode 1, but that's just me. So anyways, there goes the Death Egg zone, as well as the Death Egg robot, and the ending portion plays out exactly the same as if you remember from the normal Sonic the Hedgehog 2, except the fact that obviously since we're going to be playing as Knuckles, Knuckles is going to fall from the sky. So I'm guessing that's the only differences from there, instead of like, whenever you collect all the 7 Chaos Emeralds at Sonic, basically that Sonic will able to actually become Super Sonic and he flies into outer space for a bit and then he just floats down. Whilst then if you ever play as Knuckles and if you somehow transform into Super Knuckles, as you can see, he just managed to able to actually just well, fall down from the sky. So even then though, but thankfully Tails managed to save him. So even then though, it always kind of reminds me of something related to that particular ending from the likes of Sonic Events, by the way, except the fact that Knuckles or Sonic doesn't usually drive or just trying to get used to with the tornado, unlike in Sonic Events 1. But at least it's something, alright? And just like in the normal Sonic the Hedgehog 2, it gets like a very, very cool ending sequence, including that very identical Knuckles pose, ever since in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, because again, his sprite is heavily borrowed from Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And that's pretty much about it in terms of Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. For my final thoughts of that particular game add-on, is actually pretty good. Even though that you're still able to actually go for the exact same zones as you normally do, except you're playing as Knuckles the Echidna, which I will say, it does look like it's a pretty cool addition. Especially if you ever loved Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, thanks to the forms of 3 playable characters and all that stuff though, then you will still able to enjoy this as well. But keep that in mind though, is the fact that whenever you play as Knuckles in this particular Sonic the Hedgehog 2 game, sometimes it can be pretty easy thanks to the forms of saving up a lot of rings you're going to be carrying if you manage to done the special stages, and also same applies to the forms of you know, just trying to avoid a lot of dangerous hazards and all that stuff though. And also to top it off is the fact that the actual difficulty factor will have to be some of these boss fights themselves. Mainly with the Death Egg robot, just because again, he doesn't jump nearly as high as Sonic is. So consider this to be one of the hard modes of the game, because you know, you just never know if you can able to actually hit on you know, Death Egg Robot's weak spots or anything like that. But at least that's what challenge is for. So even then though, yeah, I hope you guys do enjoyed this particular very short and quickest Let's Play we've done, which is of course Knuckles in Sonic 2, which I'm very glad that we've managed able to get around to this, because originally we were going to do this back in also in 2017, due to the forms of the road to Sonic Mania releases, but somehow it's been about 3 years delay. So even then though, and hopefully by that time until next year, that the Sonic the Hedgehog series will become, well, let's just say the very beginning of the Sonic the Hedgehog games. Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Mega Drive / Sega Genesis. Next year he will be, well, that particular game will be out for about 30 years. So yeah, let's just hope, and just looking forward to see some more Sonic projects until, let's just say, in 2021. But there was that one particular game that we totally forgot about, but I'll let Knuckles were able to actually just to tackle for that, because either way though, I will best be off. So this is me, Maxi here, from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, and until then, I will see you guys soon enough. So yeah, and this is how the ending sequence actually plays out. So yeah, I'll see you guys then.